Hello, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to a brand new video. And look what we got on the Magic. We got the Corgi Major 1129 Ecurie Ecosse. I'll probably kill that, but that's what it is. As you watch this go round, I'd just like to welcome any new friends of the channel. Welcome aboard, and welcome back all the old friends of the channel who've been with me all this time. Thank you very much. It's much appreciated. Now we're going to have a little chat about this in a minute while I get it off the bench, off the Magic, and get it on the bench. We'll have a little chat. Okay. Yeah, she's not too bad, this one. Pretty good condition. It's all complete. It's a bit worse where paintwork's going to be redone. Okay, let's get it off the Magic, get it on the bench. Here it is then, on the bench. We've got to quickly go through it. It's all complete. Got the sliding door. It's got your workbench inside. Glass is in good condition. Couple of little marks on the front there, but I think we'll probably get away with that. Spring works okay. So that's pretty nifty. That's okay. So all right. The tail board can be a little bit on the slack side. I think that's due to wear more than anything else. Got tyres on it, steering's okay. Yeah, base is okay. That's okay. So we're pretty much there, really. But it just needs scratch. It's all scratched up. Now, I said you're going to have a little chat. I've been requested on several occasions over the last 18 months, 2 years, if I've got one of these and when am I going to do one. And quite a few people have said about putting it back together again, and one or two people have lost a spring here in there. Okay, and so it's been a long requested one for me to do on YouTube, on video. Now I've got another one of these which is shoddy to say the least. Okay, which I'm not going to do in this particular video. I'll tell you what the plan is. This one, I'm going to strip it, paint it as the original, best I can, closest colour I can, keeping the colours the same. I'm not going to do any extra bling on it, anything like that. I'm going to keep it as is, including the front and everything else, because I want to keep this one as it would have been out of the factory. Okay, so that's the plan on this one. On the other one, I'm going to super detail it. I'm going to wait for some cars. What I'm going to call is going to be a Jaguar, wasn't it? It can't be anything else. So that the other one I've got is going to be turned into the Jaguar Racing. Okay, I'll get rid of all that, put Jaguar Racing on it, and it'll be detailed. All the inside will be detailed up, and the front is different because on these ones the whole front there was aluminium. On there, I'm going to tart it up a little bit. I'm going to put some old looking last night at the back inside, right at the back, that far side. I'm going to put the control panel on there. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do with this second one, and that'll be later on in the year. But I want to do this because I had a recent email, somebody else asking me about this, so I thought, you know what, I'll do it. I've got time. But I haven't got time to do it in super detail, so I've got time to do a basic version, which is what I'm going to do with this one. Okay, it's basically an exercise in taking it apart and putting it together, because that's what people seem to have a problem with. All right, so yeah, I have had a look, and I have took this apart, even though you wouldn't notice that I have, but I have took it apart. And yeah, there is one or two things you have to be careful of. And it's all to do with this spring in the front there. So you don't lose it. Okay, right. I'll get the tools out and we'll get cracking. Okay, we're on the bench. Let's have a shove at this. There we go, sliding door. Inside there's a vise in there. You'll see in a minute. I'll take the interior out. underneath it's got front steering, bit of detail underneath, bit of front. Glass is fairly good in this one. These back ramps, the connection here gets a bit loose over time, bit of wear. The idea is drop the ramp down, it's a bit loose there, and then push that in like that and drop it down like that. Okay, that's how it works. And you lift it up in the same fashion like that. Okay, now a lot of people, the questions I've been asked is some of them have lost this spring in there and how it goes back together. There's two ways you can do this that I can see. Now, like I said on previous videos, there's a lot of people out there who haven't got YouTube channels who do a lot of these, or like this, code 3s. I've got a chap, Martin Fraser, who's done one of these as a code 3, and quite a few others. So they'll probably know different methods. I don't know. So whoever does know a different method to what I'm going to show you, by all means, put it in the comments. Right, two ways. First of all, you can get it from the top, or you can get it from underneath by taking the base out. All right, because there's a little lip on the bottom of here, you'll see in a minute what this spring butts up against. These two pins here and here hold the ramp in place there. So once you took these pins out, that ramp will come up, and if your spring's still attached, if it's got a bit of rust on it, it's still attached there, you take these pins out, the ramp will pop up and you could lose a spring. Okay, so if you're going to do it that way, you need to pull your pins out 3/4 of the way, and then put a blade in here, pull the spring right back like that and hold it while you take the ramp out. Okay, that's one method. But this method I'm going to try now is by doing the underneath. From underneath, you'll see in a minute. So really keep it off tension. Okay, at the minute it's off tension, that's on tension, that's off. So keep it off tension. Now these underneath are these crimped blades. They're not too bad. You can do two ways of getting these a bit straighter without grinding them off. You don't have to grind them off. Just get a pair of pliers and go along, and you'll see, look carefully, I'll show you. If you look carefully, you will see where they're bent over. They're just catching on there, and just a little, if you look carefully, you'll see, especially on this one here, you'll see where it's just catching the base plate. So you can either get your pliers and just tweak it slightly, or get a screwdriver with a hammer and just tap it a little bit so it comes loose. And then you can get your screwdriver underneath, like we're going to do here, and get it out. Okay. So I'll pop the top off like that. Okay, and the middle, and then the back. And this way, hopefully, it will clip back in when you're finished, so you don't have to glue it. So just get underneath there, and you should be able to tweak it up like that. So that's that. We'll deal with that in a minute. There's your steering on the front. There's your base plate, your tyres. We'll do that in a second. Right, the tailgate should come off now. That should just lift off like that. Okay, lift off. That just sits back in those little nooks there, one there and one there. So that's your tailgate off. Right, the interior should just lift out. Well, your side door will drop out now. Your side door will just drop. Okay, that sits in there and on there, as you can see, just drop off. Right, so that's that out of the way. Let's just lift the interior out. Let's have a look at it. There you go. That's the next one. Plain, simple, it's got a vice on there. It's a shame they put that vice on there. They could have detailed a bit more on the inside, but they didn't. So that's that. And there's your window unit, and there's your spring located in there. You see, look. you just bring in there. All right, so this window unit's a bit tight, so I'm just going to see if I can ease it a little bit because it's a bit tight. Take it from the middle there. This is a tight window screen unit. I was hoping it would come out a bit easier than that. Well, it is cold in here at the minute, shed. Okay, we're still in the minuses. It's one of them what's got to come out evenly, I would assume. Yeah, it's very tight in there. Trying to get fingers in. Okay, right. So that's tight. So we'll go with the other method now. We'll flip it over because I don't want to yank and pull this and then the spring will fly out and I'll lose it. So that's one way you can, if your windscreen is fairly loose, and I don't think this one is really loose enough to do it. It's very, very tight. So we'll flip it up. It's still out of tension there. So get your pliers and just a bit of an angle. Just poke that out a little bit. It'll come out that side. And just a little bit this side. You just need to, let's pop straight out of that one. Just need a bit of an angle on them. Okay, so alright, so holding this down with my fingers, I'm going to pull this one out. If you lose one of these pins, get an old dinky axle, cut the end off. Right, so that's now done like that. I get my screwdriver, slide it into the spring, pull the spring back, lift that off. See that? Okay. Then release the spring with it in your screwdriver. Still lift it up, and you should be able to pull that out. There you go. Should come out now. There's your spring out. Okay. And there's your thing, and that's what your spring sits against. That there. So if you didn't cover it, yank that out, it will just fly up. So that's one way of doing it. Okay, if your glass is too tight, because the chances are if it is too tight and you're jerking about with it, the spring has got plenty of room to fly out. Okay, so that's that bit done there. Okay, so now we've got to get the glass out, and now we can muck about with the glass without fear of losing the spring. I hope that's understandable. So once you took your pins out, both sides, put your screwdriver in, let's pull it back, pull the spring back, then cover it, pull this off. Okay, and then slowly release your spring and pull it out. And you could do the same in reverse. Put your spring back in, push that back, get your tongue in. Once your tongue is in and holding the spring, then you can put your bits and bobs back in. So that's that bit. Let's try and get this glass out now without breaking it. I hope it's not breaking it, because it's a big old chunk of glass. This. It's a big old chunk of glass. And it's very tight in there. Here she comes. That's that side. You get your fingers either side in there and try and pull it down. I think it's one of them that's got to come down evenly. I don't want to push too much on that side. And there she goes. There you go. That's your glass out. So that's rather a tight fit. So be careful with this when you pull it out, because they are quite tight. So that's that bit stripped then. So that was fairly straightforward. Okay. Yeah, there you go. So that's that part of the body done. I don't know how that's gonna. I don't know whether it's gonna strip in caustic or because it's metallic paint. It might struggle. We'll have to have a look. On the base, let's get the tyres off. Check what they are. I think they're probably 20 mils. These 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. It states these are looking at probably 18 mils. There. 17s, yes. 18s. Got 18 millimetre on here. Yeah. It's a tight fit. 18's a tight fit, 19's a sloppy fit. But we'll see. I'll have to check to see what they are. So anyway, these tyres are pretty good. So I think we'll be okay with these. They're fairly, oops, sorry about that. They're fairly supple. So we'll get away with those. Reusing them. There you go. Hubs. The base is pretty good actually. I don't know whether I'm gonna. Right, okay, so that goes through there, that goes through that, and that's a pin of some sort. Okay. That's a shame, isn't it? Yeah, you'd have to take this, grind them off to lift that plate out. Because I think just by compressing that there, that won't allow you to get that out. I don't think it won't go up high enough. If I pull that, see what happens. No, the spring won't compress enough for you to pull that out of the bottom. Okay, so if you're going to take this off, I might just take it off anyway. It's to grind it off. You can either then drill and tap and screw some new ones in. I think you'll have room. Yeah, you'll have room. Yeah, you put that in the middle. Now look at that, that's bent now, look. See, that's flat there, it's bent there. Yeah. Right, yeah, that's the thing to do. Grind them off. And then drill in and put a small screw in there either side. So that's what we'll be doing. The back, yeah, you see, we were talking about pulling the wires out the back here. You can barely even lift that, so I'll grind these off. That one and that one, just grind that off with the grinder. There and there. You've seen me do it before. Pull the axle out. Grind them off the top. In fact, just to give me a second, I've got time. What are we on? 14 minutes already on this one. We just change this bit on here. Let's see if we can grind these off. I should have a grinder in here somewhere. There it is. Change it over. We'll keep hold of that. I see. Well, maybe that didn't work. Okay. Let's grind some more off. That's it, one. Just slide it to one side, pull it off. That's two. Okay. I'm just going to have a look, just going to show that up to the camera. Like that for a second or two. So when I revisit it, I'll know how it come apart. Right. So you've got your bar poking up the bottom. So you should now be able to take the springs off. Take that off. Take that off. There you go. We'll straighten that out. Turn that off now. So yeah, that's what we got. Okay. I'll just get the file out and file that off. Then we're done. And then we're going in the stripper. So that's how we strip one of these bad boys. I know it took a bit of time. It took 18 minutes to do that. The length of some people's videos, that. But there you go. You need to know. You need to know. So if anybody wants to do one now, they know how to take it apart safely without losing anything. And we didn't lose anything. So that's a bonus, isn't it? Okay. Get stripping. Here we are, out the stripper. Had a bit of a clean up. Double base. Ramps. Back ramp. Side door, which I forgot to do. Need a bit of work on there. It's a little bit blistery. I'll put some sandpaper over that. Just smooth it out a fraction, that one. That just needs, that's cleaned up, just needs straightening. Main body, I've had a quick going over with it. I'm going to just, in places at the bottom where it's been chewed up a little bit, run a file over that. But apart from that, it's pretty good. I might just go a little bit of a sanding on filing just around that front curve there. Not much though, not much. It doesn't want much, and a little bit of filing just along that edge there. But yeah, it's pretty good casting, pretty good condition. There. I might just, there's a little casting line there and there, but I'm not bothered because like I say, I'm going to keep this as original as I can. Okay. I'm sorely tempted to do what I normally do, leave these ramps metal, but I'm fighting with myself on that one, boys. So what I'm going to do first, I'm going to get his primer, get his base plate primered up and glossed up so I can get the suspension and that back on it. Get that done first. Then I'll prime this, work out a way of holding this. Probably hold it in there somewhere. I don't think my Tamiya stand will hold that. I don't think it's wide enough. Yeah, I've got to work that out. Okay. Yeah, just going to do a bit of sanding on this here. What have I got here? Just got a rough old bit here. Hang on. What have I got here? Got something better at the back here. This old bow sander, that's pretty good. give that a bit of a sanding. That's what I'll do with that, just to get some of the rubbish out of it, make it a bit smoother. Yeah. There you go. Yeah, that's getting better. That's better. There's just a bit of pit in there. Might put a bit of filler in that. We'll see. I'll do a bit more sanding. See if I can put a bit more filler in that. Yeah. Okay. Primer time. Primer time. Alrighty then. Ready for priming. I've gone round and done a few. Let me get this off here. I've done a few bits and bobs to this. It smoothed out all the top edges where they're a bit chewed up. All around there. Use the file, this block that Ian gave me, some of this rougher paper, various things. What else did I do? Around the front here, done that. Smoothed off around there because it's a bit pitted. Around the front there, bottom bumper. And I've gone around the length with a big file. I've got got some of the chips out of there, masked off the top pins. I don't want to paint them if I can help it. Smoothed out of this yet, along there. I'm debating, and I'm going to try and keep this original, but I'm debating, I've got a blue for that, whether just do that at chromes, just do that bare silver stripe down there. It might look a bit better than the blue. I'm like that about it in a minute. We'll see when the primer's on. So I've just got to degrease it now, and we're ready to go. And it fits, luckily, it fits on here, on my Tamiya, well-worn Tamiya apparatus. Hopefully it won't spring off. So we'll get the methylated spirits, give it a bit of a squirter all around. Stick it above the fire for a bit, and then that'll excuse me, that's in the way. And what that'll do then, that'll evaporate. It's just methylated spirits in an old bottle. I think my camera's gone a bit wappy because 0.5, that should be way out. Okay, base plate time. Let's just show you the paint on this one. Let's just pull back a bit. Okay then, we're out of the paint. Come out quite nice. I'll just move that out of the way. There we go. The lighting is not that good in here because I'm in the dining room down at the house tonight. So, because I've got some hand painting to do, all this here and all that there on the other side. So I've decided to do it down here. So I'm using the dining room standard light, plus I've got a lamp here. So that's why it's a little bit dodgy. Now originally, this colour here I've used is this Fiat Capri Blue. Now originally, this is a non-metallic. Originally I was going to go with the Azure, Ford Azure Blue, metallic. But divine whatever. Fate, call it what you like. Destiny. I bought 2 cans of the Azure Blue. And when I got them back home, they're both faulty cans. The paint coming out of them was very, very minimal, and it was rubbish. So I went and bought, changed heart, and I went and had a look for some more paint from a different shop, and I come up with that colour blue there, which I thought was more in keeping with the original. So that's done in the Ford Capri, in the Fiat Capri Blue. Okay. Yeah. So that's okay. We're all done, all dusted. I've put tape on the bottom of there, as you saw earlier. So the inside come out all right. So that's to one side. And what I'm going to do then, I need to paint the lettering. I was going to use a stamp, you know, like I've done with the rubber or eraser, is what you call it, on there. But I've had to draw. I'm going to have to paint that line in anyway. So I've got some Tamiya Sky Blue X14. So we're going to hand paint that on. Now I notice on some of these in the book that I've got, some were painted in gold. Some it was painted all around the top, as well as this line here. And there's also some with red lettering. So there you go. And I've been looking at the original version of this, and this obviously wasn't raised. Yeah, and it had, this was sheet metal on the top end. It was a divide down there where it was riveted together. So anyway, we're going to do this with that in the sky blue. As you can see, I've made a start, and this line here, there, and then I'm going to lacquer it, because I haven't lacquered it yet, because as you know, I like to do my silver and that after I've lacquered it, which is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to paint this, and then I can lacquer it, because I want this to blend in with that. So it doesn't matter if I get any finger marks on it, because I can just give it a rub over, get it cleaned up. So that's that bit. The base, as you saw, it's all painted. That's with just a primer with lacquer on the top. That's that Colour It primer, grey primer. I like that. The back axle, I've painted that over. There's plenty of room on that axle, so I used my flat grinding wheel on top of my multi-tool, ground it flat a little bit, and then painted it over, which was great. I've drilled the 2 holes in there using a 1.5mm drill with the M2 tap, and then going to hit it with an M2 0.4mm screws, which I've got down here. So what I want to do, I want to get this base together first here, and then we're going to hand paint this over here. So let's have a look. I'll clean the wheels up on here. I've got, oh no, I thought I lost the bar for a minute. I thought, flipping it, it's there. So let me just get, no, I'll do that in a minute. So this bar needs to go that way up, there, like that. Okay, so it's a bit long, this thing, for my camera. So you've got 2 stubs on here. Short one goes in the bottom with that hole facing the back. Okay, so you're going in like that. All right, and this bar, if I can pick it up, needs to go underneath there. So you just hook it up underneath, like so. And the same with this one. Like so. Hopefully you can find the hole. There you go, that's in. Right, you're in. Right. If you sit it down, they're both going to rise up a little bit. Your springs, hopefully you can see what I'm doing, which has now got themselves twisted together, as they do. The dogs just come barging in. I need to get these untwined. Ah, there we go. Untwined. So you put your springs on, sort of. Put your springs on, 1, 2, like that. And you've also got on here, you've got 4 holes to each end. The outer one is for the top of the post for the suspension, and then there's your screw. So let's see if we can get this on here without too much aggravation. Press that over there. Got it in there, over there. And this one the same. Over there, so not so much over there. Right, off the cut camera, I've dropped the spring. Right, we're back. It took me a good 5 minutes to find the flipping thing. It was on the floor. It pinged off. I should do this in a box really, so. Right, let's try again. Right, that one's on. Put the finger on that one. And that's on. So they're both on. Line the screws up. Get the screw on the end of the thread, we should be fine. Get that so it doesn't spring out on me. Should be all right. Should be okay now. I turn that screw around. Magnetic screwdrivers are good, but they can also be a pain. Like that, because it don't go where you want them to go. Trials and tribulations of a restorer. Yeah, bloody thing's not going on the end of me flipping screw where I want it to go. Come on, stop messing about. Right, here we go. We got there in the end. I could edit that out, but I can't be bothered. Right, that should be okay now. Yep. Suspension's working. Up. Up. Right, let's just tighten that down now. Suspension's working. There. There. Steering's working. There and there. So we're all gone. We're all good. Okay, so that's the base. We've got the tyres. We can put them back on, shall we? Might as well. I'll pop these back on. Get them out of the way. At least that's one job done, isn't it? There you go. The steering's working. So we're all right there. We'll put that back in the box so we don't lose it. And we'll get onto this. So I'll get the paint stirred up and get myself a little bit of cloth, and then we'll get painting this. It looks darker than it is. It's slightly a bit lighter than this because this light's not very good. If I held it up here, you probably wouldn't be able to see it anyway. But yeah, All right, painting time. Let's see if we can do this. I'm not going to show you all because it ain't going to happen, is it? Because I ain't got time. I'll just show you the general. There's probably going to want 2 coats on here. I don't know if you'll see because the light's probably shining in it. So we'll do the best we can. Like I say, I could put a rubber stamp on there and stamp each letter, but then still got to paint that anyway. The other option was I could have masked it all off, painted blue first, and then done this. But I like hand painting. I find it quite therapeutic. So that's what we're going to do. I've mixed up this Tamiya paint because it's not great for hand painting. I mixed it up with a bit of X20, Tamiya X20. So now we're going to give it some paint. Nice and steady. It's quite raised, so you're doing that, it's okay. So yeah, we're going to do this. Yeah, hand painting is quite, for me anyway, it's therapeutic. I like it. You get a nice sense of achievement when it's done. When we used to have boats on the river, I see a guy in a narrowboat and he employed somebody to come and write the side of it, you know, with the lettering and stuff, and I was fascinated. I spent ages watching this guy with his paintbrush, all by hand. Absolutely fantastic. They use a special brush. Same as the guys you see putting the pinstripes on cars, on custom cars. I think that's, you know, to get that line as straight as that. Oh, it's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. So yeah, we're going to probably give it 2 coats. I'm just getting the outline. So I can see it. It's coming on, look, it's looking all right, isn't it? Because then I'll try and catch the tops of the letters. Yeah, because tops there. I'm not bothered about getting any. I can just see my finger marks in there. The paint's it's dry, but not fully cured. Because I'm not too bothered about that because I'll give it a rub over with a cloth, and doing that can in fact, shall I say, smooth out any finger marks before I lacquer it, or clear coat it, whichever words you want to use. It's quite strange sitting in the house doing this. Yeah. So we're getting there. Look, it's coming on. Colour's coming on. I've got plenty of paint. It's thinned down nicely. Got a good quality brush. I haven't had any coffee for a while, so that's always good when you're hand painted. I tend not to have any caffeine. Stops you shaking. I'm going to do a bit more and then I'll let you go. We'll move on to something else. Well, I won't, you will. I've got to spend the next hour or so doing this. And up early in the morning, get the fire on, get some lacquer on it, and then that'll, you can have the whole day drying then, can't it? And then on Tuesday, we can put it together, which won't be too bad. It's not, this one is not as bad as it seems. Just got to be careful, just take your time. Like any restoration, take your time. There you go, there we go, round it. Yeah, you can use a rubber stamp. I've used a rubber or an eraser, depending on what part of the world you're from. But because I was going to paint this point pinstripe down the side, I might as well just do this. Really similar to the Chipperfield Circus on the Scammell, or whatever it is they call it, the crane truck. Right, okay, I'm going to let you go. We carry on with all this down the side, but it's coming on, look. Not so bad, is it? Okay, here we go then. We're all finished. Took a while, but we got there in the end. Put your line down. Put your writing, both sides. There you go, all finished. So, alright, I had to go nip up the shed and I forgot the side door. So what's next now is, like I say, get up, get the fire on, give us a wipe over when it's all dried, and then get some clear on it. Clean these holes out first, that side, both sides. These are for the ramp pins going there, so you need to clean them out to make sure that the pins move in and out freely. And then we'll get it lacquered, and when that's dry enough, I'll get the paint at front. And then I think it's the front, couple of indicators, tailgate lights. Then we're done. I've resisted doing what I normally do with these sort of things, put them bare metal, because I said I'm going to try and keep this to the original format. Well, one of them anyway. So there you go. So we'll see you when it's all lacquered. Here we go then. We're all ready to assemble. Now this should have been last week's video, but I had a few problems with this, and it wasn't the casting, it was me. Pilot error. I was having a problem with this front here. Basically, I tried painting it, but I was getting in a bit of a mess with it, and quite frankly, I stripped it all, repainted it. Now, the other thing is, I use Halford's lacquer, and apparently, I didn't know at the time. I was wondering why this new tin that I got had a ball bearing in it, and it was a bit smellier than I'm normally used to. I know they've changed their range of paints. They've reformatted all their paints. You can't get like they used to before. So when I painted this the first time, it was taking forever to dry, and it was doing me head in. And it was still soft, and I got finger marks in it, and it had been dry for 2 or 3 days. And it's not like that with normal the old alphas lacquer. So anyway, I went online and I checked, did a bit of research, and apparently they have changed their format. They've changed the formula, shall I say, on their lacquer. They put a bearing in it now, so when you shake it, it rattles, but they never used to have them before. And apparently it's to give it a better shine and more durability. But it does smell, and it takes ages to dry, a lot longer than the normal. So I'm not particularly happy with it. I'm going to persevere with it. I bought because normally I buy the high coat lacquer, which is nice. It goes on nice, dries nice. But the local shops around near me is a bit hit and miss whether you can get it. That's why I turned to the Alphas lacquer. But anyway, none more for that. So beware, if you're used to the old Alphas lacquer, the new one with a bearing in it, it takes longer to dry. It's a bit smellier, and just be careful with it. Right. That being said, we're all done, all painted up. It needs a bit of a, see what I mean? I mean, I've got some grease on it in a minute because it wants a polish up when I'm finished. But got the indicators on, done the front grille, done the tail lights, put a number plate on it. So let's get it together, get it out of the way. Enough is enough. So what I've decided to do, I'm going to leave the top ramp till last. I'm going to put all the, because the spring goes in there, you'll see. So I want to get this in and located. I think that will be better. So we put the spring in, says he. If I put that spring in there, I'm trying to get this, I don't want to lose the spring now. So if I just drop that in there, get it in the right position, just compress it gently with my finger, like so, then drop in the base in the windscreen, which is polished up. It's a bit tight, but it should go in without too much aggravation. So it's pushed down. Okay, so we're in, and the spring's there, like so. All right. Now we'll get the door on the right way. Get the door on the right way. I think it's this way. Yeah, when it goes, because it only goes so far and it's shut, yeah. So that should be like that. Put the door on. Should be able to drop the interior in then. That's the interior in, and the tailgate, we'll drop that on there. Now, well, let's hope we should be able to just put pressure on this and push this down. There, done. So there we have it. Okay, spring's still in place, tailgate's operating. Now let's see about getting this in. Now the next job I would do is get your pins and get them. I file these holes out a little bit to make it easier for them to push in. Okay, get your pins in like so. That's it. I don't want to, if the door does work, I don't want to scratch it. That's why I don't want to mess about with it too much. Okay. Then get your plate, make sure you get the right way around. Well, I twist it underneath there like so. So it comes up underneath here somewhere. I think it's the right way. This is the right way. I can't remember now. Like that. So we're like that. You get your screwdriver. Get hold of the spring. This way it could all go tits up there. Sure it goes the other side of that ramp actually. There. Get hold of your spring. Get your screwdriver in. You should be able to pull that back. You have to pull it back a good bit. Why is that not going in? Should be going in. Should be going in. Why is that not going in? There's that pin, I think. There was always going to be a problem, weren't there? There was always going to be some sort of problem. Yeah, it's just a bit, get hold of that spring. And getting it right back enough to... Oh dear, come on boy. I've got it back far enough. Come on, just a bit more. There, it's in. Got it. We got it. And then you can push your pins in. That one's in. That one's a bit tight. Let me just give it a knock. Where's my toffee hammer? I've got a little toffee hammer here somewhere. There it is. Let's give it a bit of a knock. That should be in there. I've got to touch up a bit there, look. Which is going to happen, won't it? Now that should. Down it goes. And then up it goes. Down it goes. Up it goes. Down it goes. Up it goes. And there's your tailgate. So we're done. So that's what you got to do. Well, you don't have to do it that way. That's the way I did it, and I found that to be reasonable. It was a little bit fiddly because that pin slid back in there and stopped me putting a ramp in. But yeah, it's all singing, all dancing now. Rolling a row. I'm not going to keep operating the door. There you go, look. Door's all right. So a quick polish up and we'll get it on the magic. This is what we started with. Our racing transporter, Corgi, 1129. Bit scratched up, bit worse for wear. So have a look, see what we've done with it. And see if you like it. Have a look at this. Here we go then, all done and dusted. The old Corgi Majors, 1126 number. Don't make me pronounce it. Racing transporter. There you go. Got it in the bigger light box today. Yeah, I had a pain with this. Like I say, it weren't the model's fault, it was my fault. I couldn't quite get my head around the radiator grill. on the front, but I think we've got it. It looks all right now. Yeah. I've tried to keep this near enough to the original. These were 2 or 3 different styles of these. Some had gold writing on. There were some were red writing on. And some had the blue stripe going around the edge of the frame of this thing. I'll show you as it comes around. Some of them had it going around the top edge, around there and around there. Some had that. Got the sliding door there. Shut that now. You've seen the ramp operating. Like I say, because this new lacquer, I'm going to give it as much time as I can to dry, so I'm not going to fiddle about with ramps and doors and stuff. But yeah, it's not too bad. Let's just try and get a bit more light on it. Maybe not. We'll see. Yeah, it's mainly a demonstration for people who hadn't done one before, and I've been asked 2 or 3 times if I got one and would I do it, because people was not sure about the spring. Now I can understand that, the spring flying out, because you've got to be careful. So that's why I did it, reassemble it the way I did, by putting the spring in the glass and squeezing it in that way. That locates it in place, and then getting the door and the interior and the base on, that holds it down then. I found that to be one way. I mean, I no doubt that, like I said before in previous videos, that there's people who do these, code through these, and they've done loads of them, so they'll know the best way that you can do them. But yeah, this is it. We're all done. We're all dusted. I don't know whether this is going to be lighter or darker. And this is another light box that I've got, which has got different LEDs in it. So anyway, that's it. Thanks for watching. Look forward to your comments on this one, and I hope the people who've asked me the question and wanted me to demo it is now going to watch this, because it was a pain. Not the actual vehicle itself, just me and that front end. I was so disappointed. But there you go, hey-ho. Well, whatever you're doing, be happy, and hopefully you'll be lucky. And we should see you all again next week with another restoration. And I think it will be next week. Yeah, it's got to be the 1st of February's restorations, isn't it? And we've got a fairly good one for you. So, we'll see you next week. Bye for now. See you later.